Warning, this podcast contains Gaston.
What a guy.
What's up, everyone, and welcome to the ASOTV podcast for Once Upon a Time, Season 5, Episode 17, Her Handsome Hero. I'm your host, Dom. With me is Clio, Rachel,
Hello,
and Kate.
Hello.
How's it going?
Hola.
Yeah.
good.
Yeah? What do you guys think of this episode?
I knew Gaston was going to be an asshole.
He wasn't that much of an asshole.
He was so sweet.
He was an asshole.
I mean, at least he pretended to be nice to begin with.
He pretended.
Well, I mean, the only
Belle likes them bad boys.
bad thing he did was torture the ogre. That wasn't right. But, like, other than that, he wasn't a sexist asshole. He seemed to genuinely like her, not just for how she looked, but that she was an actual person.
Well, he did say that the stories about him were not true. They were all embellished, and I thought that was really...
which I think was amazing.
Yeah, my friend LeFou. I thought that was probably one of my favorite parts of this episode. It's just because, I love that song, No One Like Gaston. It's the best song, I think, from Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the most
he might
fun,
not have
anyway.
been. I don't know. I didn't think he was very. I didn't think he was very. I don't know. I didn't get the feeling he was genuine. But hey, that's just me.
The only thing he wasn't genuine about was torturing the ogre, because he thought he knew a monster when he saw one.
Yeah, you should look in the mirror a little more.
Yeah, the Mirror of Souls.
Yeah.
The Mirror of Souls saw right through that shit.
Yep. I mean, that's what it does. I liked that they worked in those points from Beauty and the Beast, the mirror, and I don't know, I liked it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They even, yeah. Even though it wasn't a rose, they did work in flowers in this one, which was kind of funny.
Mm-hmm. But we finally got, some more information on, the third Ogre War, leading up to this, because Ogre Wars have been going on for years, and this was because the second Ogre War was revealed by Granny that it happened 60 years ago, when she was talking about, how her grandmother or her mother, who was the wolf before her, I don't remember, when she was saying...
It skipped a generation.
It skipped a generation.
Yes.
No,
Before,
wasn't it?
It would have been Granny then. If it skipped a generation, it would have been Granny because it wouldn't have been her daughter.
Yeah.
It'd been her yeah. So I don't know how it worked.
Yeah, I just remember Granny saying that it happened 60 years ago. She was referring to, the Ogre Wars then. So I was like, okay, so that was definitely confirmed to be the second Ogre War. There had not been another Ogre War between, so the third one here is the one with Belle. And we kind of saw how it got resolved, how the war ended with Rumpel taking Belle back to the castle. But we never saw how the war started in the first place, and that leads me to believe it's was the baby ogre, was it a scout, or do you think the war started because Gaston tortured the baby ogre?
It might have been. I think it was going to start no matter what happened.
I think it was definitely
but
expedited by the fact of Gaston torturing the ogre.
Gaston being an ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I agree it might have happened anyway. But yeah, Gaston didn't help. I don't think the child was a spy.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I think he went back and told them what happened, but they didn't listen to it. But this really cool chick.
But there was a really cool lady.
But they're like, wow.
No, weren't the ogres?
And that's how parents are.
Aren't the ogres supposed to be blind?
Blind?
Yeah, I thought the ogres were blind. They could only hear by sound.
No, they track by sound. They're not fully blind, but they have better hearing than they do.
They hear by sound, of course.
No, they hear by sight. They see by sound. Yes.
It reminds me of my friend, on the the crosswalks, how it has the sound. So she goes, that's so the deaf people know when to cross.
Well, it's like my favorite. It's my favorite line in the original Ghostbusters. Listen, do you smell something? Same principle.
Well, it's like when you get close to your destination, you turn the volume down in your car.
Yeah, because you got to hear where you're.
It's like wait. I'm looking for the guys. I'm looking for the street sign.
Mm-hmm.
Turn the volume down.
What? Yeah. No. So I don't know. I was under the impression that the ogres have been blind this entire time. So I was like, wait, this baby ogre is clearly not blind. It's like looking around. It's looking sad. There's a lot of emotion in the eyes.
I don't think they're blind. I think they're like nearsighted kind of thing. They don't see very well. Mm-hmm. But they still.
I mean, you can be blind and still have emotion in the eyes. That's.
Can you? I don't know. Daredevil doesn't have a lot of emotion behind his eyes.
Well, Matt's a different story.
Oh my God, you didn't.
I did. So.
Yeah, it's just.
And it may partially be because he's wearing a mask, but that's besides the point. So I'm gonna do something that I don't ordinarily do, and I'm going to direct a question at a single person. Clio.
Yep. I knew it. What's the question?
What were your thoughts on Belle this episode?
Fucking hate Belle now.
Why?
I know it's a strong. Okay, no. I know that's too strong. That is too strong. That's not what I mean. What I mean is, I'm mad at her.
Okay.
Because she's saying the same thing. She goes to him. She's like, "Oh, Merlin said you can use, dark light magic. Dark. You could be good." It's like, no, stop. No, give up.
No,
stop.
What she said was that they could wield the power of the dagger for good.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Not saying that they can use dark magic for good, which is different because the sword is a piece of Excalibur, and Excalibur was a pure sword, so it's definitely possible.
Well, and also like what Rumpel said, it's all up to interpretation.
Yeah, and it's Belle was finally seeing it when she's like, hey, open this lock for me. He's like, you want me to use dark magic? No, but it's for a good cause.
Yeah.
Well, now I'm wondering, does Belle have a little bit of darkness in her?
There is always going to be a little bit of darkness in anyone.
Well, I think what Kate's getting at is...
even Snow White has a little bit.
What Kate's getting at is pushing Gaston into the River of Souls. Did that darken her heart?
That was clearly an accident. She was pushing him so he wouldn't shoot.
Emma's was kind of an accident to Cruella.
She wasn't... Yeah, exactly.
It was the same thing with Emma and Cruella.
Yeah, it still darkened her.
And it darkened Emma's soul. So now, is it going to darken Belle's soul? And now this child's soul, which is the spawn of the Dark One, quite literally.
But Belle's not magical like Emma was, so I don't know.
Right. We don't know how the X and Y chromosomes handle magic. We don't know what the recessive and dominant traits are when it comes to magic.
It's still literally the spawn of the Dark One.
But did she conceive him when he was the Dark One or when he wasn't the Dark One? Was that baby
during Frozen?
The Dark One for like 30 seconds, so.
During Frozen.
Well,
he was still the Dark One during Frozen, wasn't he?
Yes, he was still the Dark One.
Yeah.
He was being good, but he still had the dagger. He was still the Dark One.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how far along she is.
Oh,
it doesn't really say.
Well, I know.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Because how far along is she would depend on whether or not he was the Dark One at the time or not.
I know the actress Emily DeRaven actually just posted a picture of her baby girl on Instagram. So if you guys don't follow her on Instagram, yeah. So
that's adorable.
So when they were filming the season, she was actually pregnant. So
correct.
This will be interesting.
Correct. I think that might possibly be why they tied this story in. That seems like a good excuse. So.
But also, Miriam, the lady who plays Miriam Margaret was pregnant too.
Yeah, and they worked that into the story as well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
She's pregnant with her second kid.
Aw, that's adorable.
Yep.
So.
But so
with
Gaston in the river, like, and Belle's like, yeah, well, maybe the way to defeat Hades is to get Gaston and more people to move on. Like, maybe it's weakening him, and we saw Hades flipping out over the fucking flower of hope.
Yeah.
Flipping out over a daisy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That doesn't seem to make much sense. But then, he watches one wither and sends it off to Zelina.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I think it makes sense. If he loses souls, then he's not as powerful anymore. He doesn't have control over it.
He doesn't have control of the souls. The more souls he has, the more power he has.
Right,
and
but I'm thinking, why not
on him keeping them?
Why just not attack him at the source? Right? Why instead of getting all these other souls to move on, why not get Hades to move on?
Because
that's Regina's gears are turning. Regina, you can see she wants to use.
He's a little too strong right now
against him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, Zelina and Regina had a nice little sisterly bonding chat again. Second week in a row.
Well, I told you, Zelina doesn't think she's lovable, so therefore she can't understand how Hades could love her.
Yeah.
Said that last week, I think.
It's potentially Hades' weakness. It really is.
Mm-hmm.
But do you guys think that it's possible to escape the river? Because we saw it in the Hercules cartoon. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Because we had Gaston with the arrows, dipped in it. He's going for Rumple this whole, episode, and he ended up there himself, and this is the second person now we've seen thrown in there. Mila was thrown in there a couple episodes ago, and it's like, are they just gonna forever doom these characters, or are they gonna try to figure out a way to redeem them? Like, the Lost Souls seems like the perfect target of freeing souls from the underworld, because if that river does not exist, then Hades literally has no power left.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, we also saw one other thing a little different. The book. Gaston's like, I've tried to get rid of this book thousands of times, but it keeps coming back to me.
Mm-hmm.
As a lesson to teach him that he doesn't want to learn.
Yeah, and so what else is there out there that that is there one thing for every person that no matter what they do they can't get rid of?
It's like it's tethered to them.
Yeah.
Very well could be.
I don't know.
I think it's going to be, if that is true, it's going to be something that reminds them of their biggest loss in their humanity. So it's probably also, like Belle predicted, the one thing that's going to keep them from moving on.
Yeah. They're something connected to their unfinished business.
Yeah. That they don't understand yet. They don't understand why it's still there. Because they're so clouded in everything else because that's what Hades wants them to do. He doesn't want to move on, so he clouds them with everything else.
Yeah. And then we had the Emma, Regina, and was it Regina? No, Emma Hook and Snow. Regina came in a little later. In her crazy dream thing, and then a reality, and then it turned out to be Ruby. Please tell me I'm not alone in immediately during the dream sequence I go, that's Ruby.
Immediately. Oh, there's a wolf. Hi, Ruby.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? Mm-hmm. But I'm hoping she's not dead.
Yeah, that's
definitely not dead. She's
question.
breathing.
Well, no.
No, not dead.
She's in the underworld.
In one of my shows, guys.
She's in the underworld.
Yes.
I hope she's not dead.
Yes. I'm sorry.
She's in the underworld. Did she come through a portal like Belle and Zelina, or did she die? That's the big question.
I'm going to guess that she came through a portal in the storm. Which, if you remember, was the way that picked Zelina up from the Enchanted Forest and brought her to us. So storms can be portals. So I'm wondering if maybe that's how Ruby got in.
Her and Mulan were doing something, and
they clearly had a run-in with Zelina, so from the promo. I'm sorry, I'm using my knowledge of the promo. It showed them having a showdown with Zelina.
Yeah, something happened. So I hope she's not dead.
Well,
because that would make Chrissy cry, and we don't want that.
Well, I do know that
Mulan,
Mulan and Ruby were both in Oz. I know that much, and we're gonna find out more about that next week. But before we go into next week's episode, I want to go through some stuff in chat here. We are having some technical difficulties while we're doing this live, so unfortunately chat isn't quite as active as it typically would be, but they're still kind enough to stick it out and continue to post questions in chat.
Way to be troopers!
Yeah, thanks guys. Danielle Del Castiello Locatelli wants to know, what are your thoughts on Gaston?
Asshole.
I thought he was great. The only asshole thing he did was be a super dick to the ogre.
I didn't think he was genuine. I think he was just trying to get in her pants.
He reminds me of Hans.
He was trying to get on her good side.
No
exactly.
Way.
Yes. He's trying to get on her good side and trying to unite these two.
No, he reminds me of Hans. Honestly, if you think about the way Hans acted at the beginning of Frozen, that's exactly how Gaston's acting.
Yes, he's a dick. I'm sorry.
I was kind of disappointed that there was no tie-in as to why they switched actors. You know, no kind of crazy spell or anything like that.
Did they switch actors?
They did. Gaston was definitely a different actor.
Okay, all right. Because they showed, previously, and it was this new actor, and I was like, wait a second. I, started questioning everything.
They just redid that scene, yeah.
Yeah, they probably
probably something happened that the actor wasn't available, or... I mean, that happens. After so many years. What was it? How long ago was it when we saw Gaston? It was
season 2, I want to say.
2. Yeah, I was going to say it's been a while. So he could have been. I mean, there's a lot of things. He could be busy.
They did the same thing though with Robin Hood.
Done,
but they did the same thing with Robin Hood. They recast Robin Hood, and then a season and a half later, they went back and told a story of this crazy spell. But there was nothing Gaston. Yes, they could still do something down the road somewhere, but I feel like if they were going to do it, they might as well just do it in this episode. That way, if a third time comes along and they can't get the actor, then they don't have this really big, web of tangled bullshit that they're trying to.
I mean, right now, I don't think right now is very. It didn't really matter because he's kind of a minor part.
He is.
Yeah, I don't think enough people would realize without it being pointed out to them that it would be a different character or a different actor overall. I mean, if you think
I'm going to say right now, I prefer the second actor over the first one by a long shot.
Oh, absolutely.
This one looks a lot more like Gaston.
Yeah, and the same went with Sean Maguire replacing I forget he was only in one episode, so I'm actually not really that sorry. Of the original Robin Hood actor, because Sean Maguire is a much better Robin Hood than the other guy was. You know, so they're definitely doing it with the right choices, but like I said, I really liked my favorite part of Once Upon a Time ever right now is the fact that they went back and fixed the Robin Hood actor switch. They fixed that for me, because those are always my biggest gripes, and now it's now this is hanging over my head. It's the one thing that I'm gonna gripe about this show now is changing Gaston.
Well, I'm just saying. Well,
I don't care if he's only in 2 episodes.
I think with the Robin, because there was going to be more Robin Hood because of Robin Hood and Regina, and this one is just so maybe they'll go back at some point and do it, or maybe they won't. It depending if he ever comes back or not.
Yeah.
I think that's all dependent.
Danielle also wants to know if we like the sisterly bonding moment between Zelina and Regina. But Jacobs Salazar says Regina kind of ruined the tender moment between her and sister by asking about Hades' weakness.
She did. A little bit.
No tact, Regina.
I mean, they're trying to get shit done.
Yeah, I was going to say, they're running out of time. There's little time to be all mushy in the underworld. They have to there's only so much they can do before they're just like, you know what, we need to get down to business and this needs to happen and here we go.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. It was a little, I wish there was a little bit more, but it seems like they're starting to understand each other a little more. And of course, Zelina is like pushing it away because, who can love her kind of thing. She's playing the victim really.
Who could ever learn to love a beast?
Yeah, right. She's playing the victim so well. It's like, okay, drop it. Just drop it, okay?
Well, she still doesn't understand.
She doesn't
She's
know anything
being
else.
Hated. She still doesn't understand.
Yeah. See, and I don't know why. Like, is there magic or isn't there magic in the underworld? That's what I'm confused about.
There
is little. There's like little. It comes in spurts.
There's a trick to using it too.
Yeah, it's like you use it one time and then it like takes a couple days to recharge, kind of thing. Because
I'm like, why isn't Zelina in full like green envy like makeup? Why isn't Rumpel in Dark One gold skin?
If you notice, she threw her necklace at them. That was the only power she had left. She has more necklace.
That's true.
Well, no, she used her magic one more time in the forest when she was running away with the baby, but she hurt the baby. So
I think that's
her magic's unstable. She can't control it. If she tries to do something, it's just going to blow up in her face.
But didn't she throw her necklace at them? That was her thing. I thought she ripped off her necklace and threw it at them. Because she's not wearing a necklace.
I mean, I don't know. You said that. I don't remember that happening. But she said her magic's unstable and she can't control it.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So if she tried to do anything, it would probably just blow up in her face.
Daniela also wants to know if after Zelina received the dead flower from Hades, do you think she will choose to be wicked and be Hades' lover, or be good and be with her daughter?
She had a goddamn devious face on when she got that flower.
I think she's gonna be evil, but she's gonna steal her daughter back from Robin.
I think she's gonna play. She's always on the fence. She's always playing both sides because whatever side can offer her the best. She's never gonna go to one side or the other because it's always what side offers her the best for her interest.
Yeah.
I think Hades is gonna figure out how to get her daughter back, and she's gonna stop fighting against him and start working with him. And I think it's gonna probably make for a very interesting season finale.
I wonder if they're gonna come up with some kind of child swap thing where Belle gets to keep her kid if Zelina,
stays with him and the baby.
Yeah.
Zelina
gets her baby back, kind of thing.
I don't see Robin.
But only if. But there's only so much Robin to do. I mean, I can see that happening. That he was like, okay, Belle can keep her baby, but you and your kid have to stay here with me.
Yeah,
I can totally see him doing that, and I can totally see Zelina not doing that for Belle, because Belle is pretty much the only one that's ever really been, I guess, let's say, human to her.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, she doesn't like her, but she's never been mean like everyone else has to her.
Right. Danielle also asked, do you think there's hope for Rump Belle at this point?
I don't know, because don't make fun of me. I don't know, because Belle just throws herself in his arms, and so maybe.
I don't know. I think she's going to eventually just accept the fact that while she doesn't like the darkness in him, I think that's still part of the reason she fell in love with him.
Yeah.
So while
she doesn't like it, but she's there's going to become a point in time where she's just going to have to stop fighting it, because it's just going to wear her out. It's either she totally just cuts herself off from him and never, but she can't do that with the baby.
Yeah.
But
she already tried to do that and failed that 3 times.
Exactly.
If she pretends to accept it, she's not going to be happy, and then the baby's not going to be happy.
Right.
I don't know.
I don't know if she'll pretend or if she'll just she's in a tough It's a tough place.
Well, I think it's inevitable at some point we're going to have to see Merlin down here in the underworld because he has to have unfinished business. There's no way after he like had this crazy death like off camera kind of almost thing that he doesn't have unfinished business. So
I'm surprised we don't see his girlfriend down there.
Yeah. I don't know. I think we're going to see him, and it's going to come down to like the final showdown, whatever, with Hades. And I think it's going to come up to Rumpel using light magic, at some point to stop Hades instead of the dark magic. But, Rumpel's always been about the power, and that's the most consistent thing about Rumpel. And like I said last week, or was it last week? The episode with him and the poison, the flashback episode, where it really kind of put that back into perspective for me, and solidified where it's like, yeah, he's always been about power. Even before he had power, he wanted power. So he's still very true to who he's been all along. But that doesn't mean it has to be evil power. He can wield, and the fact that they even brought it up, I think it's going to come to the fact that he will be able to wield light magic as the dark one.
It's possible because when he wasn't the dark one, his heart pretty much got cleared, as you say, it was pure again. So it's probably not filled up with evilness
right
after thousands of years. So there is quite a possibility. He's already had a taste of being a hero, quote unquote. So
I don't know, man. I saw that as like a relapse, whereas he got all the darkness back immediately.
I don't think it all came back.
Something just occurred to me, and I don't know if we've talked about it previously. All the dark ones, are they in the underworld?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That Merlin's the first dark one. Merlin's girlfriend. I was like, what happened to her?
Nimue.
So
they could have.
They're on their own little island
section.
Seeing all the dark ones.
They're on their own little island.
Weren't they defeated?
Yeah.
When did
they? Didn't they all go into the dagger?
They all went into the dagger.
Yeah, I think they did.
Because every dark one is a part of the history of the dark ones and all the history of the dark ones.
That they died. So are they dead inside the dagger?
But it's like
we don't know.
I'm not sure that that's where they would go.
Maybe they're part of one of the rivers. We've only been talking about one of the rivers, and there's 4 of them?
There's 5.
5? I can't remember.
Alright, so you have the river of
souls. Souls the only one that rivers of souls.
Lost Souls.
Lost Souls is the only one we really been talking. Well, the river Styx. That's how they came apart. But
when I think of the river of Lost Souls, I instantly go to Lost Boys, and I'm like, where the fuck has Peter Pan been this whole time?
We were talking about that earlier, right?
Yeah, me and Clio were in
Pan. Yeah.
Much earlier tonight. We were like, I think the reason why we haven't seen Pan around is because Robbie K was under contract to do Heroes for another network, and they came to an agreement to allow him to come in for an episode. We don't know how many episodes further past that one that was announced were negotiated in his contract. But
he's got to come back sometime this season.
What I had mentioned to Clio, what they can do is when they all escape the underworld, or whoever ends up escaping the underworld, they could just have Pan ride back inside somebody else's body and just be like Pan never fails or something and end the season. And then
that would be such a cop out, and I would be so mad.
Yeah.
But then they could get Robbie K to sign on for the next season, and Robbie K, he'll be able to be used, because that's the only way to get him over if he's under contract, is to have him in somebody else's body where they're not showing the actor.
There's also somehow maybe reverting him back to what he used to look like, not his youthful, but what Rumpel remembers, the old man, his dad. There's also that. We don't know what happened to that actor. Maybe that actor's available. We don't know. They could throw that in there too.
Yeah.
I think if Pan had his way, he'd be the kid.
Well, of course, that's why he's there, because that's the form he likes.
Yeah.
What form are you? But no, But, you know, at the same time, he needs to be like, no, you're not going to take that form. You're going to be this, you know?
Yeah. Omikins, who unfortunately could not join us tonight, is in chat and said, everything else is protesting because there are technical difficulties. Because I'm not there to complain about seeing far too much Emma in this episode. Which Jacob Salazar follows up with, Emma, honey, sweetie, you need to tell your mother not to go to the cemetery where she's going to die. And yeah, like...
No, I know, why won't you tell these people, okay, you had a dream, you told me you had a dream. Tell them freaking what the dream is.
At that point, she thought it was just a dream.
I get that.
But it gave her an idea. But when they got there...
Can you move your mic up just a little? I think it fell down. There.
All I know is that when I have bad dreams and they involve someone in my household or someone I know, I tell them the whole entire dream. Whether or not it's going to come true or not, I tell them the dream. Because, you know what? You never know.
When you live in a world where fairy tales are real, and you've seen all the things that you've seen, and you're having a maybe premonition where you're like, I'm going to go alone, and then Hook's like, no, I'm going to join. And then her mother jumps in and is like, oh, I'm coming too. And blah. Like, at that point, your brain should be like, okay, well, there was the three of us in the dream. This is a little more than coincidence. You died in my dream. You sure you still want to come? Like, at least, give her the option.
She was so frazzled and she didn't. She thought it was just a dream.
That makes me wonder, like, Rumple's got the power of the seer. From the way back when he was the Dark One. So now I'm wondering maybe if that is going to become part of the Dark One's powers of being a seer. Maybe what
I think that
Emma
was limited to him, and I think he lost that power when he died.
I just
when Neil sacrificed himself and brought him back, and resurrected, they redid the whole thing with Lumiere and all that. Like, I think that's when he lost the ability to see into the future, because we've never seen him use that again.
Gonna do something. I'm gonna agree with Dom on the whole. You live in a world of fairy tales where your dreams have meaning. You need to tell people. That's
a dream is a wish your heart makes when you're fast asleep. So, like, is Emma having like subliminal thoughts of subliminal thoughts of, oh, my mother abandoned me when I was an hour old. Kill that bitch. Like suppressed feelings. I don't know. I'm not a psychiatrist. There's got to be some hate in there.
No, I just think...
Got to be some hate in there for abandoning her.
She's a forgiven. We've been through this.
See that. She worked through that. She's worked through that. She talked to Jiminy and everything. Dr. Hopper.
Oh, I miss Dr. Hopper.
But, yeah, no, I think that these things, she needs to, like, be like, okay, whether or not they're true or not, whether or not they're just dreams, you need to tell people. You need to say, this is what's going on. This is how I'm feeling. I'm feeling uneasy about this. You need to start communicating with people. You can't just... Because that's when people start getting hurt, is when
Emma's
you
not
don't
that
talk to them. You don't
Emma's not that reliant on other people, though. If that's been Emma's trend. She is not reliant on other people, and she started being that way with Hook, and then Hook became the Dark One, and then he died, and now she's trying to save him. So she just closed herself off from all that again. She doesn't want to tell other people what is going on.
She just needs to stop it.
I really missed Henry this episode.
Henry and his sassy teenage ways.
Yes, I love him right now. I really do love Henry right now. I love how sassy and mouthy he is.
Oh, God, Mom, just trying to write a story. Jesus.
Okay, you guys...
Henry's not Napoleon Dynamite.
11 years old. You heard her. You guys heard my daughter. She's 11 years old. That's what it totally reminds me of.
Tina, eat your ham.
No, get your own.
Tina, eat your ham. Yeah.
No, I was talking to hot chicks all day.
Danielle and Jacob are going back and forth having arguments over Rumple and Belle, and they're basically just like Rumple just learn that your magic and your power are never gonna bring you happiness. Leave Belle alone. It's not, they're more
It's not gonna
they're
happen.
more arguing in agreement than they're actually arguing with each other. You know. So.
I think the thing is Belle. It doesn't seem like Belle's gonna get over her like need to try and fix people. So
right.
That's the problem. Like as much as I want to blame Rumple, it's not Rumple's fault. It's honestly Belle's need to fix people is putting her in this situation over.
She's one of those girls.
One of those people
she
who
needs
thinks
to
that they
make
can
the
fix
decision if she
everybody.
wants. She needs to just make the decision if she wants to stay with Rumple and deal with the good and the bad, or if she can't do it. And she needs to literally wash her hands of him. Then
Yeah,
she can't.
If she stays with him, she's going to be miserable.
See, I was really excited for this episode. Belle is literally my favorite old school Disney princess. So the fact that we got so much more backstory on her, for me, was fantastic. But at the same time, in this episode, the old Belle in the flashbacks is much more set. She's much more decisive. Mm-hmm. Where the Belle now is like, well, I don't want this, but I need you to do this for me. But I don't want this, but I still need you to do this for me.
She's
make a decision.
She's one of those girlfriends of yours that always falls for the wrong guy, and you're telling her that that's the wrong guy, and she's like, "Oh, I can fix him. He'll be okay in a couple of years." And it's like, no, honey, no. You can only fix him if he wants to be fixed. If he doesn't want to be, you can't. You just can't. And, all you're gonna do is just bring heartache on yourself.
Yep. And Clio, Sally Noble in chat, I think she had the exact same sentiment as you that watching this episode. She goes, "When can I rant about Rumple? Because I want to throw something at my TV," when he was talking to Belle.
No, and I didn't have the urge to throw something at my TV.
No, but you threw something.
I threw myself on the ground.
Right.
I threw myself off the couch, and it was just like, Belle, no. Belle, no.
How many shows have you actually thrown yourself off the couch onto the ground so far?
Quite a few.
I was gonna say,
I more mean, no, there's a difference between like being so distraught that you drop to the ground, but throwing yourself to the ground is a whole nother story. I just picture like Clio from like Jim Carrey in Liar Liar, where he goes, "I'm kicking my ass. Do you mind?" And Clio just like throwing herself off the couch. You know, that's what I picture.
No, that was like that.
It's so complicated, and you can relate to each of these relationships because you either are those people in that relationship, know someone that is in those relationships, or have seen people in those relationships. Mm-hmm. And it gets to you. It gets to a point, an emotional point in yourself and you're just like, but that's good. That's good writing then. If it makes you want to strangle the person and throw yourself on the ground.
Yeah. Jacob says hashtag Baston, convinced the Gaston is better for Belle. And Sally's like, no way. Both men are no good for Belle.
Yeah, they're no. Yeah.
No.
Belle needs some time to work out her own shit.
Gaston reminds me
who was good for Belle? You know who was good for Belle? The knave.
Pretty much. But is anybody else like angry with the fact that they didn't address the fact that maybe Rumple didn't actually kill Gaston and maybe it was Belle that killed Gaston in the first place?
Yeah, nobody addressed that. Everyone was like, "Yep, Rumple totally did it." And it's like, he just turned him into a rose. Belle was the one who cut him in half.
Yeah, she literally just snipped him.
Literally cut him in half.
She killed him twice.
More or less, yeah.
Wow.
So
that'll and
on accident.
On that same path, if that's true and Belle actually still killed him the first time, she already has darkness in her heart from way back when.
But I don't think she
Well,
knew.
that was an accident. She didn't know about it.
Both of them were accidents.
Yeah. Go ahead.
In fairy tales, there's no such thing as coincidence.
That is true. Jacob says, I think this episode showed a cool spin on the Persephone story in the myth, where Persephone goes to the underworld for 6 months, and up above the world freezes and decays. But while Zelina's in the underworld now, things are growing. It's kind of, she's not the reason why they're growing, but it's a cool spin on the story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it too.
It is.
No, I wonder if any of the other gods are going to be mentioned or brought in, because I would love to see.
They're going to have to bring in, Hades' older brother at one point in time.
Yeah,
because
he's got to be
there. Younger brother, that's right. Zeus' younger brother. But they're going to have to bring him in at some point in time.
Yeah.
Because they are talking about...
Hashtag Boger. Yes.
Jacob said he also found it interesting that Gaston is working at an animal shelter. Instead of hunting the animals, he's taking care of them.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
I don't know. I didn't see a single animal in that shelter. I
didn't either.
There was the dog that was barking.
That was
you see that one dog that was barking.
Gotcha.
But
that was one dog.
It's just like, what's her name? Who was guarding the school kids.
Yeah, Jacob.
Mila.
Right.
You're forced to do what?
Jacob saying, "Where's Robin? He was not in this episode at all."
He's in hiding.
But then he goes, "I don't know, and I honestly don't care. He contributes nothing." That's a little harsh. But
he really hasn't had much to do.
Yeah.
Well, I follow him on Twitter, and he's been really busy with his family right now because I think his wife just had a baby.
Right, which is going back to what we were talking about a few weeks ago, where it's possible Sean Maguire, this may be his last season. They may kill him off. They may leave him in the underworld for reasons like that. But Omi offers a good solution, chat. She said that he's keeping the baby safe from Hades somewhere. So that's probably more than likely.
That's what happened. Well, that is what happened.
Because Zelina asked how her baby is, and Regina said, safe, Robin's hiding her out in the woods. So they gave Robin a cop-out to, as to why we're not seeing him, because he's hiding, essentially, from Hades so that Hades doesn't get the baby. But at the same time, it doesn't really tell us much about this baby that Hades was so desperate to get.
I think they're leaving it
conspicuously missing.
I think they're leaving it very vague, just because, if he does come back or something, then they could write in that storyline. If he does, or if he does exit, then they could write in that storyline. I think they're leaving it very vague right now because I don't think they really know what's going on, and they might even, if he does leave for a season or two, they're probably going to keep it open to where he can come back.
Yeah, so I guarantee that.
I just hope they don't kill him. That's gonna kill him.
No, please, no.
Regina's.
I will cry. I will literally cry.
Daniela is saying in chat she wants Robin in Once Upon a Time because he is the one true love of Regina. He's important to the show in the series for the heroes. Jacob says, I want Regina to be happy because I love her, but Robin just feels like a token boyfriend and not a character. Daniela says, I'm an outlaw queen shipper. That she doesn't agree that Robin is a token boyfriend. And Jacob says he was an outlaw queen shipper, but Robin just isn't interesting to me anymore. They gave him nothing to do after season 4.
Well, and I compared that to last season when David had his whole thing like, I feel useless. Let me do something.
Right.
That's kind of weird.
But you got to remember, in a show that has such a large ensemble cast and they're constantly bringing in new characters to keep things interesting, a lot of characters get left to the wayside. And, that's what happens. That's why Ruby's been gone for so long. And then they're able to bring her in and stuff.
When they focus on one character, kind of like a storyline, like when they did with Frozen, or, the 3 Chicks of Evil kind of thing, some other storylines get left behind. They get put on hold because of this. So,
for me,
and then of course they come back.
For me, the most interesting villain that has ever and will ever be on the show is Pan. And Jacob says, please replace Rumple with Pan. bring Wendy back because I need my secret Once Upon a Time to be reunited. Hashtag Darling Pan.
Secret OTP.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I don't know if I kind of want to say they're not going to kill Robin off. I mean, he's been doing the Comic-Con circuit right now with Regina.
Mm-hmm.
And they've been to a couple of them already. They were in Emerald City Comic-Con this last week in Seattle. I wish I could have gone. That would have been fun. But,
well,
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. If he asks for an exit, they'll probably give him one where they can loophole him back in if they need to. But
he might be asked, I'm going to take some time off and be with my family, and they seem like they're the type of show that can do that because it's easy to write someone.
Yeah.
Not write something off, but
like I said, look what they did with Ruby. Yeah, exactly. So next week's episode is called Ruby Slippers. In flashbacks, Ruby and Mulan find themselves in Oz, where they meet Dorothy. After the three witnesses... What?
Sorry, my cat was
I thought you were yelling at me to
stop. Stop!
After the three witnesses, Zelina's return to Oz, they look for a way to defeat her once and for all. However, Dorothy mysteriously disappears, and Ruby's search for her new friend lands her in the underworld. Reunited with the heroes, Ruby teams up with Emma, Regina, and Snow to continue looking for Dorothy. Meanwhile, Snow and David struggle with not being able to be with their son Neil and devise a plan so that one of them can escape the underworld. So, yeah. Kind of explains how Ruby got there. I'm curious now if Dorothy is there. Do you guys think Dorothy's in the underworld too?
Maybe.
I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens when Ruby and Mulan go to Wizard of the Oz and see what happens. It's one of those things. I don't think she's there. She might be.
It's that all sounds like there is going to be way too much going on next episode.
What if the wizard is in Underland?
Could be.
And then oh god.
And all the flying monkeys too.
No, well, I'm serious. I mean, if he's there and Emma has to face him, what's he gonna say to her?
And Jacob is still waiting for James to meet David and have the two hug it out and get pizza and watch football and wrestle each other and all the stereotypical boy things.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think they'll just punch each other in the face. I think that's what's going to happen.
I don't know. They need to talk some shit out because he's mad at his mom. He should be mad at his stepdad or his faux dad.
See, I
brothers.
I agree with Kate. They're going to try to swap them at one point.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Probably when the season ends, we're going to find out that James and the Giant Peach came back and David got left, or I don't know, something. But we'll see. I think that about wraps things up. Clio, where can people find you?
You can find me at Clio Moto on Twitter, Twitch, and Pinterest.
Excellent. Rachel, where can the people find you?
You can find me at Twitter, right here. Well, somewhere around here. Yeah, right here. At Savannah17.
Excellent. Kate, you still down the rabbit hole?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to get out of there. It's too much fun down here.
Okay, excellent. You can find me down below at Phenomenon, PHENOMEDOM. You can all. I can't even. I can only odd right now. You can find us all on Facebook, Gmail, G+, Twitter, Space, and right here on YouTube at /ASOTV podcast for some more podcasts for some of your favorite TV shows, games, and movies. Until next week, see you guys later.
Bye.
I just really want to thank chat before we end this. Thank you guys for sticking it out, even though we were having some really nasty technical issues.
Out the technical difficulties.